We have a certain way of how we expect the world to be. We think it's magical when it operates differently, but there's nothing about quantum mechanics that needs to appeal to our feelings. That's just how reality is at that scale. But then you go to a different scale, like general relativity, and things are so vastly different. And where these two fields collide, like black holes, where you've got a ton of mass packed into tiny areas, where we have the biggest mystery in physics. And this has always been a fascinating conversation. The theory of everything, quantum gravity, reconciling quantum mechanics with relativity. Do you have any philosophical way of wrapping your head around all this?
I do interact with that world frequently, both the scientists I work with and in the reading and keeping up in the journals and such. And I think you might be making a philosophical mistake in assuming that there is a single grand unified theory of everything.
It seems parsimonious. It only makes sense that there should be a way. You pass the Rubicon when you enter a black hole. There is no way for information to leave it. Putting Hawking radiation aside for just a moment. So you're right to make the point that there might not need to be a theory in these sort of places because maybe it's like a punch out of reality where nothing really exists. But at the other end of the spectrum, there's a place where gravity plays a visible role in the quantum realm, and there must be a way to explain it.
There must be a way to explain the interaction or the interface between the two, but I'm not sure we necessarily have to have one grand theory from which everything else flows. And Sabine Hofstetter is one of my heroes. She wrote a book called Lost in the Math. It's all about string theory, and it got me to thinking about this notion of why we assume there has to be a grand theory of everything. And it's really logical to assume because as we studied the universe, it's pretty much collapsed to three fundamental things, right? And now we're down to two, quantum mechanics and gravity, because electromagnetism has been united with the weak nuclear force and all these other things that we used to think of as, separate and distinct forces have slowly, congealed into the two that we're left with, which is the quantum reality and the Einsteinian general relativistic reality. But I have to tell you, most people assume it's going to be Einstein that's wrong. And every time I read a headline or see an article or a journal article where the headline is Einstein proven right again, I chuckle because I think that a lot of people are setting out to find a regime where Einstein's theory breaks down because they think it'll lead them to this grand unification with quantum mechanics. And I'm not so certain.